Making mistakes is all a part of being an entrepreneur. But after working with thousands of CEOs at every level, I've learned which mistakes can be completely avoided if you know what to look for. Watching this video could save you a lot of heartbreak, not to mention money, as I'm revealing the top 5 mistakes entrepreneurs make and how you can avoid them. You ready? All right. First mistake I see often is CEOs not having a revenue model or a revenue plan. And if you've never put a revenue plan together, or we call a revenue model, don't worry. This isn't about, shaming anyone. It's just about showing you what could make your business more successful. And a simple revenue plan will show you a few things. It'll show you your top line revenue, your profitability, your costs, and at the very bottom, it shows you your net profit. Most people miss that bottom part, that net profit, but the rest of it doesn't matter if your business isn't making a profit. So you want to be able to look at those key areas for every single month. What our clients find is that when they build their revenue model and they can see the year that's coming up and what they've projected they're going to hit each month, it's very relieving. What I can tell you as a business coach is that when our clients do that, there's something about the revenue model that gets into their subconscious mind. And once it's into their subconscious mind, they start to operate from that place. It's the reason I believe many of our clients 2x, 3x, 10x their sales very quickly, because they took the time to build the revenue model and then they reverse engineered how to get there, which I'll talk about. Tying to that, the second mistake I see a lot of CEOs make is not having a marketing plan that is tied to their revenue model. And just so you know, I have a lot of videos about practical and effective marketing strategies on my channel, so don't forget to subscribe and watch those as well. Now, a lot of companies will have a marketing plan, but that marketing plan is not tied to their revenue model. And what I mean by that is if you want to have a 7-figure year, which is $83,333 a month, you want to have a marketing plan that's reverse engineered, so it makes it almost inevitable to reach that goal. What do I mean? So let's take an easy example here. Let's say right now you want to hit 10,000 a month, okay? Maybe it's your first 10,000 a month and your product or service is $1,000. So you know that you need 10 sales every month to reach your goal, right? If you have a 50% closing ratio, meaning half of your prospects become your clients, that means you need to have 20 qualified prospects that you talk to every single month, right, to reach your goal. So then the question is, how do those 20 qualified prospects show up in my world? They show up through your marketing plan. If you know you need 20, right, what needs to happen the month before? And then what needs to happen the month before that? And what needs to happen the month before that so that every single month, like clockwork, you have 20 prospects coming into your pipeline? Now, I don't know what the answer is for you, but I can tell you this. If you have 3 ways that you are marketing consistently and you've reverse engineered your numbers, there's a clear formula that will work for your business that will get you there. It's going to take some trial and error. You're going to try different marketing things. Some of them will work, some of them won't. But eventually you'll start to see what really works well for your business. And then you just develop a consistent marketing plan. You'll probably tweak it over time, but it becomes a consistent marketing plan that, like clockwork, brings in your 20 qualified prospects every single month. And again, as you do that, right, then it becomes easier and easier to hit your revenue goal. The third mistake that I see CEOs making is not working on their limiting beliefs about the amount of revenue that they're wired for. So we're all wired for a different amount of money, right? We're all, some of us maybe grew up in multi-million-dollar revenue conversations, but most of us didn't. And so we really have to pay attention to what our limiting beliefs are about the amount of revenue that we really want to bring in. As an example, if you desire a 7-figure business, which most of our clients do, then you have to ask yourself, am I living in the belief that hitting 7 figures is possible for me too? If not, what is my limiting belief, or what do I believe about hitting 7 figures? And so let's play with that for a minute. Maybe you believe that hitting 7 figures is for other people. I've seen that a lot with our clients. Like, well, it's not for me. I think that's for other people. And then you simply ask, what's not true about that limiting belief and it being for other people? What you start to see is that, of course, it's not just for other people. Of course, those people that I think are other people, right? They've They didn't start with $1 million business. They had to grow their business. They weren't special in some way, right? And so you start to peel the limiting beliefs away. You start to see that they're not true. And what you're left with is the truth, which is it's possible for you too. 7 figures is meant for you too. So spending time on your limiting beliefs is really valuable to clear the deck and allow in what you desire. Let me know in the comments below what some of your limiting beliefs might be and how they've stopped you from growing and what you did to identify them. The fourth mistake I see a lot of CEOs making is not having a coach or a mentor. Yes, I'm in the world of coaching. Yes, I believe in coaching. Yes, I'm always working with 2 to 3 coaches myself because I believe in it. To me, coaching or having a coach or having a mentor is like a hack. It's a hack that can quickly get you from here to here because that coach or that mentor has already done what you desire to do and they can get you there. I can tell you that investing in a coach is so critical. And a lot of people have mentors and they're great, but a mentor is not invested in you the same way a coach would be when you're paying them. Investing in someone and paying someone to support you is super powerful. I remember the first time that I invested $25,000 in a coach, and it was for 30 days of coaching. So it's a $25,000 investment, 30 days of coaching with 1 follow-up call. And it wasn't 30 days in a row. It was a VIP session, 2 coaching sessions, and then 1 more follow-up session. So 3 additional coaching sessions besides the VIP session. What I realized very quickly is that yes, having the coach was super valuable. Investing in the coach was super valuable. What was most valuable though was how the coach created a container for my success. And that's what we do with our clients. We create a container for our clients to succeed in, to reach the goals that they've been dreaming about. The 5th mistake I see CEOs making is not letting something work long enough or giving up too soon before they've had time to see if it's going to work. This is true in marketing. This can be true with systems, with team. And I'm not saying like, if you notice something's not working, sometimes it makes sense to just, get out if you know, right? In your heart of hearts, it's not working. But sometimes we just don't give it enough time. I probably see this the most in marketing or in sales calls, right? Or making sales calls or marketing calls where someone does it for a little bit of time, but it's just not enough time to get evidence on and really track to see whether or not something is working. So it's always good to assess, like, have I given something enough time? And if not, like, what does this need to succeed? And just asking that question. Now, I actually have a 6th bonus mistake for you since you're hanging out with me. And then I'm going to tell you about a mistake that I made in my business. The 6th mistake I see CEOs making is not trusting their gut. This is so overlooked, but I've heard stories of so many very famous CEOs that we all know who often talk about doing a gut check or trusting their gut or signing an agreement based on their gut feeling about it and nothing else. Not all of us are trained to step into our gut feeling and kind of see what that's like, but over time, you can develop that sense of what it feels like. You can develop a sense of, do I trust this or not? Or what is my gut trying to tell me right now? The more you do that, right? The more you do that, the stronger your gut feelings become and the easier it is for you to test that. So I've made a lot of mistakes in my business, more mistakes than successes. And I remember one thing that I thought was a mistake that actually became a success later. I'd invested in, it was kind of a mentoring program. And once I got into the program, I realized that there were a lot of things that I thought were going to happen that didn't. There were just a lot of promises made that weren't followed through on. And it was really painful for me to see that. But what I got from that mistake, I didn't ask for my money back. I stayed in it because there were some gifts and some blessings that came from it. But the biggest blessing and gift that came was really learning what I would do in my business differently. And one of those things was really being clear with our clients up front, right? This is what you receive in our programs. This is what you have to do. This is how you have to show up to get the most from us and the most from our programs. So it gave me that other viewpoint of just how I would do things differently. And that investment has served me to this day, even though it started out in a way that I didn't think was going to be helpful. So just know that sometimes our greatest mistakes can become lessons that help us in innumerable ways down the line. Next up, I'm going to talk about why do businesses fail to scale? And remember, your 2X is waiting for you too.